with a few people about the mass shootings that happened yesterday, well, late last evening. So we had one in El Paso, Texas, and we had one in Dayton, Ohio. Now, these are two open carry states. And the theory that we get from a lot of guys is if everybody was able to have a gun, then, somebody could shoot back and kill the mass shooter. Well, I'm telling you now, not everybody that has a gun, everybody that open carries is a hero like that. They're not looking to go and take down an active shooter. They're not. A lot of times these guys they carry a gun for self defense, and self defense doesn't mean go and attack a guy who's attacking. That's not self defense. That doesn't. A lot of these people that carry simply have these guns for show. A lot of these guys or women, these people that have uh, guns that they carry around in these states, it's really just for, it's basically a false sense of, thank you. It's really just a false sense of encouragement, where they think that, if they have the gun and people know that they have the gun, that they're not going to get messed with. And that's not simply true. A lot of these people, when they bring their guns out or they draw down their guns, it's to overpower someone else that they know don't have a firearm. And to me, I won't necessarily call those people cowards because there are some situations where you're going to need that gun for self defense. But in a mass shooter situation, you're just not going to find a lot of those hero types. Now, I've been getting addressed by a lot of Marines that I know throughout the community today, telling me that these guns are necessary. If they were there, brothers and sisters, I know if you were there, situation might come out different. But we are the very, very, very few, very few. Like I could count on this one hand how many people I think that were in the military that would deal with an active shooter here domestically if they were armed. Because when you're out at Walmart or you're out at a nightclub socializing, you're not thinking about defending yourself. Of course, you have your situational awareness. You always want to be aware of what's going on, but at the same time, you're not thinking about, hey, I got to stay on alert because I might have to kill somebody. That's not your MOS. You're just not thinking like that. You're thinking, hey, I'm going to have a good time safely, and I'm going to make it home safe. That's it. So all these people out here theorizing that, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. Cut the crap. Cut the crap. You guys, you know, you did the same thing, and I believe I would have did like a lot of other people. I would first run, I would first find a place to hide, and if I had a firearm, that would be my last option is to shoot at the active shooter because I don't want to bring attention to me or whoever I'm with to be shot at. People don't think about that part. They just and you when you have a firearm with you on you and you're in a shooting situation, once you start to shoot at people and they're armed, they're definitely going to shoot back at you. And until you've experienced that situation, I'd say, I would ask that you not even speak on it. If you've never been shot at while shooting shooting at somebody, I can't believe any words that come out of your mouth when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot to kill," because your brain, no one brains work. Your brain just naturally does not work like that until you're in that situation. You don't know what you're going to do. You don't know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. Until I know that you've been through several, and it takes a moment. It takes a couple of incidents. You don't just go through an active shooting situation and you're act. It's like you see on TV. You're just like a robot. Boom, 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 boom. You're taking people out, and you don't even think like you're taking people out. Once you get to the point where uh, you're being shot at and you're returning fire, uh, once you've been shot at and you're returning fire, your brain is like, oh, I killed that person, I killed that person. Your brain is not thinking like that. Your brain is thinking, okay, I took that threat out. Here's another threat. Here's another threat. You're not actually thinking about uh, killing people or being killed. That like once you're in that mode, being killed goes out. It goes out the brain, and people might see you as a hero for that. I think personally, in my you're not trying to be the savior of the day. You're not trying to win medals or anything like that. You're trying to make sure you, your family, your buddies, your usually these situations are really only in a military standpoint or environment. You're just trying to make sure those people survive that incident. You're and when you're at home domestically, when you're in America, in the United States, that light switch goes off. It doesn't go off immediately, but it does go off. It goes off, and you become because when you're here in America, you become a little softer. You start to digress back to a normal way of life, and you're not in killer mode. You're not looking at, even if you have some of these people, because I've worked with people who were racist and admittedly like told me to my face, oh, I don't like you coons, I don't like wetbacks, I don't like this or that. But when we're all together and his life depends on how I react and how he reacts, all that racism crap goes out the door, and we got to make sure everybody makes it home safe. We got to make sure everybody makes it back to the Jeep safe. We got to make sure everybody makes it back to camp safe. We got to make sure when we bust through this door, you go left, you go right, you go down the center, and whoever comes in as a threat is eliminated. What legislation needs to be brought in? See, I don't know. Me personally, the countries that I've visited where the citizens do not have firearms to protect themselves, I don't see mass shootings. There are criminals in those countries with guns, but our country is unique with drive-by shootings, with home invasions, stuff like that. Other countries, the thought process is different, you know. So, and then on top of that, I hate to break it to a lot of people, you know, when you think about why the Second Amendment was created, it was so that a tyrannical government could not impose their will on the people. We're past that. There's nothing anybody can do if the military or even your local police wanted to come into your house and take over. They have more guns, they have more resources than you'll ever have. You guys like this thing. Oh, the Second Amendment to bear rights to bear arms. It's just crazy now. There's like no reason for it. A lot of you guys that have firearms don't even go hunting. You just have it for show. And there's so much regulation on hunting now, out in the wild, that it just, well, at least in my state, the state of California, but in other states too, it just doesn't make any sense. If you want, yeah, I would say that too. Right, income disparities. Uh, a lot of other countries, they have income disparities that are huge compared to the United States. The gap between poor and rich is huge in other countries, but also in this one too. We're just we're just brainwashed by the media that we're so close. A lot of people, they believe they're so close to middle class. They believe that they're so close to being rich that they're willing to ignore other people's civil liberties. When I say civil liberties, I'm not talking about the right to bear arms. I'm talking about the right to live in the pursuit of happiness. You know, the right to live in the pursuit of happiness. I should have the right to go to Walmart, to go to a quinceanera, to go to a birthday party, a Jewish synagogue, to celebrate Kwanzaa and not have to worry about getting shot at. I should have the right to want to come into this country legally, and my family too, if they want to come here legally and not worried about them being gunned down at the border. But it's happening. It's happening all the time. Last week, I was discussing this with somebody about going to the garlic festival. And people know me, like if you know me personally, because of my wounds, I don't like going out in public. And like I go out in public, but not before this and this, these. I was like, you know what? I feel like if I go there and something happens, and I really felt this in Gilroy. I didn't go to Gilroy, but I was feeling right before. I was like, something's going to happen down there. I'm not feeling the vibe, and I didn't go. And I thank God I didn't go because um, yeah, I probably shouldn't address that. But when I go places ready. I'm always ready. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to flee. I'm ready to hide. Always ready. And I just feel like it should be like that for America. It should be like that for anybody. It shouldn't be like that. There's another thing I wanted to address. I'm really like one of the things that I posted this morning was I'm so sick of hearing thoughts and prayers. I hear it from news anchors all the time, and I hear it from our politicians all the time. Thoughts and prayers. But nothing ever gets done. There's never really a serious talk or debate. You have the NRA, they come in and they shake the money tree. Let's just call it is what it is. The NRA and gun manufacturers, they shake the money tree. The politicians do a dance, to make us all feel like It's really not a problem. It's mental illness. If you're not brown, if you're brown or black, you're a thug and a terrorist. I'm just calling it like it is. And if you're pale complected, if you're white, it's a mental illness. You know, because Johnny was a good boy coming up. You know, he just went bad when he got around those sour apples. That's that's what we that's what we hear from you guys all the time. And as a matter of fact, I posted this last night. I said it will only take 2 to 3 hours when they find out the perpetrator's background. You know, like us black and brown people, you're gonna get every ticket they ever had. You're gonna get anytime they ran into law enforcement. You're gonna get all of that background, all of it. What happened in high school? Anytime they spent time in detention, you're gonna hear all behavior problems that they ever had. All that's gonna come out if you're black and brown. If you're pale complected, you're gonna hear how he was such a nice kid. You know, he was a quiet loner, kind of a lone wolf, and it wasn't until he got on the internet and social media around these bad apples, and then he started experiencing mental illness problems. I'm I'm sorry. Those are just the facts, people. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. You know, I know a lot of people say it's pushing the liberal agenda until you show me different. Until you show me different and stand up and admit that these people that go out and do these killings are terrorists. Because that's basically what they're doing. They're going out and they're terrorizing law abiding citizens that don't look like them, don't necessarily carry the same beliefs and moral standards that they carry. And they want to scare the living hell out of you by killing you and killing your loved ones. That is a terroristic act. It is a domestic terroristic act. And there's so much focus in America on building a wall and keeping these people out there weren't born in America but want to come to America for a better life. And I want y'all to think about that. I want you guys to stop and think about that. They want to come to America for a better life. So if they want a better life, why in the hell would they come here to rape, pillage, and rob this country? That's not going to make a better life for them or anybody else. That's not going to make a better life for their children. It just doesn't make sense. You guys, a lot of people think that, I don't want to say you guys, a lot of people think that, because this is what I hear, and I hear this from my law enforcement community, I hear this from my military community, and I even hear this from the people that we employ. They think that people that are immigrating to this country are coming here to steal their jobs. You know, I have a message for those people that believe you already stole your jobs. Those jobs been gone. You know, you walk into McDonald's now and you punch your order in on a kiosk and you pay with your debit card. And if you don't have a debit card, you take the number from the kiosk. It's like that at a lot of places. You no longer shop at Kmart. You no longer shop at Sam's Club. Grab a bin for you, place all your products in a bin, then it is sorted, then it is boxed, it's machine taped. It's not taped by a worker bee. It's not taped by an actual human being. There's a machine that tapes that box. There's a machine that labels that box. and then it's pushed out to a pallet. The pallet wraps, and there's a machine that wraps that pallet. There's a machine that picks that pallet up, takes it to the truck. Okay, there's no people taking it to the truck. It's an actual robot forklift that takes it to the truck, stacks it. We still have truck drivers. We have human truck drivers. How long is that going to last? How long is that going to last? All these products that are being built in America, but most everything's we don't have that many made in America products anymore. Let's just be honest about that. That's why cities like Detroit, done deal. Cities like Pittsburgh, done deal. Because we outsource everything in America. We outsource our automobile industry. Most of our cars. I'm just talking about the American brand cars. Canada and Mexico. You know, they're responsible for a lot of manufacturing of American automobiles now. And then they're shipped to the US. They're assembled, but they're not assembled by people. They're assembled by robots. There are some human employees in those factories, but very minimal. Not like the thousands and thousands that it used to be. So production is at a down. You are, and I'm not going to harp on the president. I'm just telling you that the promises that he made, if you look into it, as far as his economic plan and the way that he promised to bring back America, because his thing on steel was really, really, really big. I'm going to bring back American steel. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Well, you look at our steel producing states, Michigan, California. I mean, we've got a Kaiser Steel in California. When I was growing up here in the Bay Area, a lot of people don't know about Kaiser Steel. Kaiser Steel was responsible for a lot of America's submarines. I'm going to educate some of you people on this. Was a here in Vallejo and in Napa County. Kaiser Steel was responsible for building a lot of ships in America and a lot of submarines. Yeah, in Pennsylvania. I was going to get there. I was going to get there. But now, in the late 90s, we saw a drawback on buying American resources. We stopped producing our own ships, international partners, and deals that, for one reason or another, America doesn't want to break because it's not profitable to the corporations, bottom line. You know, Kaiser Steel went to Africa and they started mining in Africa. And, they got a cheaper labor force, they got the same but cheaper product, and now it's just easier to bring steel from Africa to places in America where we used to build our ships. It's cheaper to get it there. It's cheaper to mine it there. They don't have as many regulations there. So why not? Why not? And they don't have to pay the taxes that they would have to pay in the United States. They don't have to pay those taxes. So those jobs went away. It's not the immigrants that are coming here taking your jobs. It's the corporations that are taking your jobs. And you guys are just, you're listening to too much rhetoric to see the truth. You're not doing enough in self education to find out what's really going on. You know, why are my jobs disappearing? You know, why when I walk into, and let me address this. Why when I walk into McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Taco Bell, it looks like a lot of bigger numbers. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Part of the reason is because some of those franchises are easy franchises. Well, not necessarily easy, but they're the most affordable franchises to buy. And if you're a businessman or businesswoman and you want to buy one of these you want to start franchising, those are the first franchises that you go out and get, you know. Now, when I start hiring, who am I going to hire? I'm going to hire the people that I relate to the most, the people who want those jobs. You know, there's not a lot of white Americans now that want to flip burgers. And sorry about that. Flipping burgers, making tacos, it has a bad connotation to it. You know, people don't respect. They don't respect you if you flip burgers. They don't respect you if you make a taco. They only, you know, if you're a doctor, lawyer, chemist, stuff like that. They don't even respect carpenters these days. Welders, plumbers. Those are respectful jobs. You know, everybody wants to get rich fast on the internet. You know, they want to. I see people they do stuff. You know, clout chasing on the internet to get famous and to get rich, to get sponsored. That's crazy. That's America, and that has they finally they finally started talking about it in these mass shootings. That these younger people, these younger, and I'm going to say it the way they said it on Fox News this morning. Yes, I actually watch Fox. I want to see what everybody has to say. But I heard something interesting on Fox News this morning. And Fox News said, you know, these guys, when they get caught, they want to be known. That's why they write their manifestos. That's why, you know, when they get caught by the police, surprisingly, that they actually get caught alive by the police, that they want to talk about it. They want everybody to know their name and everything. That's because they're clout chasing. You know, they want to be famous. They want to go down in history. You know, I'm the guy that shot 40 people like this and that because one day they could be possibly named in a movie. John Gracie comes to name. You know, he was talked about in Full Metal Jacket when the guys are going through the Marine boot camp, and the boot camp guy says, "Hey, who knows who John Greasy was? Oh, he's the guy who shot all those people from the church tower." You know, they want to be mentioned like that in a movie that's gonna go. You know, it's gonna be like a cult movie. You know, they that's what they do. A lot of this, you know, see, they see what is it, the action shooter. I used to be into the. I'm not gonna lie, I used to be into that game, but then once I went online playing it and playing against a lot of people, I just Call of Duty. I just really lost. I lost what I had, and I just like, nah, this is not entertainment. This is actually destructive. I think the Call of Duty games, just like they say about how, well, how they used to say in the '90s that gangster rap was bad for minds. The Call of Duty games are bad for our youth. Really, because in video game reality, active shooter, and you're teaching them how to kill people at random, you can turn the game off. I mean, not turn the game off, but you can turn the levels of the game all the way down, so it's very hard to kill you, and you could just kill people at random. In one of the in Call, I believe it's Call of Duty 3, there's an actual part of the game where you're an active shooter in the game, killing people in the airport randomly. And if you don't do it, you don't pass to the next level. That's crazy. That's when I started to detract from those games. I don't even like those games in my house now. I have kids, and I just don't want them to think that that's a cool thing. I don't like you can't live in my house and even have a water gun, and that's a fact because I don't want you to think that it's okay to point something at somebody and shoot. If it's made to point at a person and shoot, I don't want it in my house. I don't want my kids growing up to think that at one point in time that's going to be right. You know, we learn about guns in my house. We learn about them being a tool to kill. Guns are made to kill, not to have fun with. When you're going hunting, you're going to kill another animal. So, I just wanted to address those few things. Phew, I'm kind of winded. I think I need to end it now. I think I've said all that I can say. I'll take some questions if you guys got questions. Let's see. Okay, Raider 24. It looks like getting some guns and getting my concealed carry license to protect against fools like them. Bro, like I said earlier, you can have a gun and you can carry it, but when when it's time to act, I guarantee you, if you've never been trained to be in that situation, if you've never been in a live fire situation, you've never been trained to be in a live fire situation. I don't care if you're from the streets and you've been around shootouts. You've been when because I've seen it all. I've seen people that have been in active drive-by shootings, and then they come to the military, or they come into law enforcement, and they're put in a position where they have to actually take fire and then return fire. It's different. It is different when you have to return fire while somebody is shooting at you, because you go from hiding to getting away to you gotta poke your head out or your vital organs and return fire. It takes a hell of a person to do that. And not all of us are built to do that. You can sit here behind the keyboard and say, oh, I defend my family, I do this, I do that. I've seen it, bro. A lot of you aren't going to do that. And we just had in two open carry states, two, you, wait a minute, let me back up. So there was a military guy at that Walmart who had his firearm on him. He seen kids running around, right? He decided, instead of taking the shooter out, I'll grab a couple of these kids and, I'll run out the side door. He said there was another Latino guy who also had a firearm. That guy decided to grab a couple of kids and run out the side door. These two guys, and I'm not trying to bash them. I'm not, everybody's calling them a hero. These guys heroes for saving the kids. If these guys had military training and they both were armed and they were only facing one shooter who did not have any type of training, why did they take him out? I'll tell you why. Because it wasn't him. They probably could have saved 20 something lives, between the both of them. You know, there's levels to this. Just because you have a gun does not mean that you're going to be the hero. These military guys, I guarantee you, they knew their mortality, and you will too. You will know your mortality once the bullets are whizzing in your direction, whether you have a gun or not. You're gonna second guess. You're gonna second guess your firearm. You know, the first thing that comes to your mind is my gun. It's funny because most of America, the ones that conceal and carry, you carry pistols. Is my gun going to save my life and save the lives of these people? I don't care who you are. That is your thought. I don't care how much training you had. That is your thought. And you have to work past that initial thought and say, have I trained enough to take this guy out? Do I see the advantages that he don't see to take this guy out? And if you haven't trained that way, you're a dead duck. As soon as you pull your pistol out, you're a dead duck. Unless you get lucky, you're a dead duck. Dead, dead, dead. Because that guy's gonna see you. These mass shooters, by the way, when they come in contact with police, they either put their guns down or they start returning fire at the police. And a lot of these policemen have given their lives to mass shooters. And a lot of the American public know that. And you know that. So, yeah, having a gun is not going to save you. Let me get to the next question. Yeah, there is a lot of less fear. You know, somebody posted on here about the social programming. And, you're right. When I first got into government service, I wasn't, I was like really wet behind the ears and I really didn't, I really, really wasn't aware of the real world. I thought I had a vision of what the real world was, but I did not. I did not have an accurate vision of what the real world was. And that's when I started to see the way our government and politicians propaganda, they send these propaganda messages to all of us. And I like my white brothers out there, I'm telling you, for the people that want better lives, they want better lives for you. They want better lives for everybody. Because if we all got good lives, then everything's great. But if only a few of us, uh, they don't want to be, and they need a way out. I recognize that straight up. I also recognize that there are a lot of minorities that are like shit and want a way out. But we got to stop blaming each other. We got to stop blaming each other for living like shit. We got to start looking at the real problem. The real problem is these corporations, these politicians. those are the people who are keeping us under thumb. We can't buy into this. Oh, these white Southern men are